G'day Yogi, it's Sam. Today's practice is going to be all about flexibility. So working to get some length through the hamstrings, as well as the front of the hips and the side bodies. So if you've got yourself 2 blocks, grab them and we'll meet in child's pose. So as we come on down, we want to take our 2 big toes all the way to the back of the mat, separate the knees, and then allow your rib cage to rest on your inner thighs as you walk your arms forward and rest the skin of your forehead down against the mat. When you arrive here, just giving yourself a chance to be really, really heavy. So let the elbows drop down, let the ribs really rest on the thighs, let the hips move back towards the heels. And just starting to make your way through a few rounds of Ujjayi breathing. So there's long in and out breaths through the nose, working to keep the mouth closed. There's something about the child's pose where you can really feel your ribs expand as you breathe in. So really exaggerate that inhale. And let everything go. And just take one more like that, just preparing yourself for the practice, coming into your own body, your own breathing. Nice work. Then from here, we're just going to come onto the fingertips. See if we can walk our hands a little bit further forward, so getting longer through the side body, stretching out between the ribs, and then gently float the head up and off the mat. So you'll feel your armpits start to hollow out as the arms activate. Then from here, we'll look forward between the hands. Just start to walk both of our hands off towards the right hand side. So working to keep the left hip nice and heavy, that's correct. The left hip heavy on the left heel. So as we walk to the right hand side, we're trying to send that left hip back in space. Here we're really breathing into the left side body, getting a deeper stretch through that left rib cage. Take a deep inhale. Stay for the breath out. We'll mindfully start to walk the hands back through center and just take them off to the opposite side. So the hands will walk off to the left this time. The right hip will work to stay nice and heavy on the right heel. So you may be able to eventually walk that right hand just a little further. Maybe each time you exhale, you find just a touch more space. And then mindfully, we'll come back through center and start to prepare our body for downward facing dog. So set the hands to the top of the mat, index fingers facing the top corners, pressing through the base of the thumb, wrapping the biceps forward. And as we tuck the toes, we guide the hips up and back and just send your gaze towards your feet for a moment. Working to keep our feet about hip width distance apart. And we're really going to start to straighten that right leg and bend into the left knee. So imagine you're trying to take your right heel a little closer to the floor. We work to take the tension out of the left leg just by coming up onto the left toes and really drawing the left thigh towards the left rib cage. You may need to take a bend into your right knee, or you may be more comfortable with that leg nice and straight. Notice if you feel the right hip starting to fall out towards the right hand side, try and wrap it back in towards the center. Take a breath here. We'll stay for the exhale, really push through the hands, get the hips up nice and high. And then we'll work to swap legs. So we'll lift the right heel up off the mat, work to lower the left heel as the left leg straightens, the right knee will bend. Again, left hip working towards the midline of the mat, right thigh working towards the right rib cage, and those hands are pressing nice and firm to send the hips up higher. Take a breath. Stay for your exhale. Now we just begin to shift through those two movements. So lift the left heel, lower the right heel, straighten the right leg as you bend the left knee, and then finding the opposite. Right heel lifts, left heel lowers, left leg will straighten as right knee bends. You just start to shift with a little more pace from side to side, so really coming up high onto the balls of the feet and working to lower the heels down nice and low. So activating the back of the legs and the bottoms of the feet as well. And just give yourself about 2 more breaths here. You can go as fast or as slow as you like. And after that final exhale, we're going to walk the feet a little wider. So line up your pinky toes with the edges of your mat, and then walk your hands back towards your feet, arriving in a forward fold at the back of your mat. So having the fingertips resting in front of the feet, we'll bend into the knees, inhale to lengthen the chest up halfway. Then as you exhale, we'll bend the elbows, drop the head, and let your torso hang nice and heavy. You can catch the elbows here. I like to fold my arms that way. They don't need to use any tension, and they can just rest. The hands can rest in the crease of the elbows there. Just to begin, gentle little bit of movement from side to side, so shifting the weight to the left side of the body and then the right. Just seeing what difference that creates, what sensation changes in your legs as you maneuver from side to side. Really working to get the rib cage to rest on top of the thighs here, and letting that head drop nice and heavy. Nice one. From here, let your hands drop down to the floor. Look over to your right foot. We're going to work to lift the right foot. Take the left hand, catch hold of the outside of your right foot there, and then maybe just rest your right fingertips on top. Then from here, take a bend into your left knee and allow your left hip to fall to the left-hand side of the room. So the right leg is nice and straight here. Your left hand is gripping onto your right foot. And as you lean off to the left, this is going to give you that deep stretch through the left side rib cage. Similar to like we did in the child's pose just before. So really breathing, sending your awareness, your energy into the left side of the body. Take a breath. Stay for the exhale. And as we push through that left foot, we'll bring the hips back to center. And then swap over to the other side. Right hand will catch hold of the outside of the left foot. Maybe the left fingertips will rest on top. Take a big bend into the right knee as you send the right hip off towards the right hand side. So really creating this connection between right thigh and right rib cage. Left leg is nice and straight. You're sending your breath into the right side of the body. Take one last breath here. Stay for your exhale. And then pushing through that right foot, we'll come to center. Gently release the foot, take the fingertips in front of the feet again. Then inhale to lengthen up halfway. Exhale to bow. And keeping your head nice and heavy, we'll slowly start to roll up to stand from here. Keeping your head heavy to the very last moment, we'll roll the shoulders back. Push down through the ball joint of the big toes. Take the palms together in front of the heart. Just be here for a full breath in, feeling strong, feeling grounded. Open the mouth to let it go. And set arms down by the side, open the eyes if they're not already. And together on the inhale, reach the arms out towards the side, look up. Then exhale to fold through the center. So bring the palms through the heart as you bend the knees to fold. Fingertips to earth. Inhale, we'll find that halfway lift yet again. And then the feet are going to stay where they are. We'll walk our hands to the top of the mat, coming back to downward facing dog. So pushing through the base of the thumb, guiding the hips up nice and high. If those feet are still really wide, we'll just shuffle them back so they're a little closer towards each other. From here, push through the left foot. Inhale, reach the right leg straight up and back behind you. As you exhale, pull the right knee to chest, lift up high on the left toes, look forward, work to step the right foot between the hands, and gently drop the back knee onto the earth. We'll take the hands onto the right thigh, send the hips forward, and start to push the chest back. So you're creating this element of lift. We're working to get into those left hip flexors on the front of the left thigh. So as you lean your hips forward, can you flex your left glute just a little more? And really push to lift that chest. We're getting that stretch all the way through the front of the body here. So once you feel strong and grounded here in your lunge, we want to catch hold of our blocks. So the blocks are just going to go on either side of our hips, on the highest side if you can. So we're working to find this element of lift in the chest, really flexing that left glute. And from here, reach your arms up towards the sky. Take a full breath. And as you exhale, the right hand's going to move down towards the block on the outside of the right hip. So you popped it on the highest side first. You may realize you don't need it. If that's the case, you can take it a little lower, but top side is always just a little bit safer to start with. We're going to start to move that left arm over towards the right hand side of the room. Again, getting that deep stretch into the left side of the body. And if you start to feel your left armpit is moving towards your right knee, see if you can take the left armpit away from the right knee as you sit deeper in the hips. So we're trying to go up first with the left hand before we move the hand over towards the right hand side. And you start to wrap your pinky finger towards the back of the room. The bicep will move towards the back of the room as well. If you can, really breathe into that left side. Take one last breath here. Exhale, we find a little more space. Nice one. And then push through that right hand. We'll come back to center, reach both arms to sky, breath in. And as you exhale, fingertips will frame the right foot, will untuck the back toes, and then send your hips back to straighten your right leg and work to lift the right toes up and off the mat. We're coming to Ardha Hanuman, or half split. If you need your blocks, you can pop them underneath your hands here. But if you don't, just set them off to the side for now. We'll use them a little bit later on. We'll come onto the fingertips, pull the shoulders back to lift the chest. So just notice the difference between this big rounding on this tucking under the tailbone and the shoulders rolling away from the ears, the chest lifting, the spine will elongate. And that's what we're working for here. Take a breath. Exhale, bend the elbows, see if you can lower the right rib cage to the right thigh a little more. And 2 more times like that. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. And you'll notice today I'm really working to lengthen the breath, as our intention is not to build up too much heat in the body, but instead to work a little longer and take our time to work into flexibility. So as you straighten the arms to lift the chest, we're going to take the right hand inside the right foot. Shuffle the right foot out a little wider to the right hand side and re-bend the right knee. Nice one. You can set the palms down flat, even turn your right toes off to the side and fall off onto the pinky side edge of your right foot here. We're coming into this lizard lunge variation. It's quite nice to tuck under the back toes. That way it just takes a little pressure off the knee. In fact, if you want more, you could even lift your left knee up and off the earth again, flexing that left glute here. Take a full breath. Stay for the exhale. Nice one. Then we have a few options. We're going to drop that back knee down on the earth. If you'd like, you can take your right hand to the inside of the right knee and take a gentle push just to open the right hip. If you have more space, left forearm can work its way under the earth. Maybe right arm can reach up towards the sky as you breathe in. And then from here, as you exhale, right hand can reach back over your left leg, really spinning the right side of the chest up towards the ceiling. And then perhaps, if there's space, you bend that left knee, you might be able to find the left foot. Working to stack the right shoulder on top of the left here. So chest is not closing to the floor, but instead we're finding a twist. So you peel the right side of the body up higher. If there's space, even bend your right elbow. Draw that left heel in towards your left glute. And you might want to put a big smile on your face here, because this one can feel pretty intense, especially in the front of that left hip. So just smile, imagine you're really enjoying it like I am now. as you squeeze that left heel in. I want to flex that left glute a little more, and that's really going to help to release the front of the hip and maybe even peel the right shoulder up just a little higher. And take one last breath. Stay for the breath out. And gently release your left foot. Set the hands underneath the shoulders. We'll lift the chest. Then tuck under the back toes. Set the right foot flat. We're going to lift the back knee up and off the earth. Right foot's on the outside of the right hand. We're going to work to step the left foot outside the left hand and drop the hips down nice and low. So you're coming into Malasana, Yogi squat. Set the palms together in front of your heart. Push the palms down to open the thighs out and lift the chest up. See if you can have your knees and your toes facing the same direction. The weight leaning towards the heels a little more. You might even feel the toes get lighter or potentially lift up and off the earth as you push down through the ball joint of the big toe there. Just let yourself be here for a moment, taking a full breath. Staying as you exhale. Nice one. And open the eyes if they're not already. I'm going to continue to push through the heels, so keep the weight back. The chest will rise slowly. As you press through the heels, we come all the way up to stand. Once again, moving nice and slow. Ha! When you arrive, set the feet so they're facing forward. Take the arms down by the side. And then from here, use your inhale to reach your arms out towards the side and up. And your exhale to take palms through center as you fold. Bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, we'll find a halfway lift, so get nice and long through your spine. And then set the palms flat, step the left leg back, followed by the right. Come to a plank pose. We won't be here for too long, although we are going to drop the forearms to the mat and just take the palms to press together. So it's a flexibility practice with a little bit of strength splashed in there. Push away from the floor, tuck the tailbone under, drive the heels back, move the crown of the head forward. We're just going to be here for 10. 9, flex the arms if you can for 8, 7, 6, for 5, 4, 3, 2, and on 1. Keep the left arm where it is, set the right hand underneath the right elbow, and then push into the right arm to lift up onto the left hand. And then guide your hips up and back. We'll come to downward facing dog. Nice one, just a little bit of strength through the arms and shoulders there. Take a single breath. Let it out. And then right leg stays. Inhale, reach the left leg straight up and back behind you. And as you exhale, left knee draws to chest. We come up high on the right toes, look forward between the hands, work to deliver the left foot between the hands as you drop the back knee onto the earth. Setting up the blocks, mainly because I forgot that when we got into the lunge on the first round. Then take your hands onto that left thigh, start to lean your hips forward, and then push to lift your chest. So the more you send those hips forward, we really want to flex into that right glute a little more. Feel the opening through the front right side of your belly there. And you can inch your left foot a little further forward if that gives you a little more space. Once you feel nice and strong, grounded in the legs there, use your inhale, reach both arms straight up, look towards your palms. Then this time as we exhale, left hand's going to find that block outside the left hip, working higher side to start with, and then you'll find what's more comfortable for you afterwards. Look up towards the right hand, we'll start to send the right hand over towards the left hand side of the room. And again, right armpit's going to be moving away from the left knee as you send the hips forward and down. Spin that right pinky finger back behind you. The bicep will start to point towards the back of the room. Drawing the navel in towards the spine, so rather than the belly hanging out, you're pulling the belly in to keep the core active, keep the low back protected. Sending some deep and nourishing breaths into the right hand side of your body. Really feeling that opening through the right hip. Take one last breath. Stay for the exhale. And push through that left hand, come back to center, reach both arms up, breathe in. And as we exhale, hands will frame the left foot, untuck your back toes as you send your hips back, work to straighten your left leg. So working to find a variation of the posture that is comfortable for you. So not shooting too far too quick. This is just a light practice today. So you can use the blocks underneath the hands, or you can come onto fingertips. With the left toes flexing towards you, the inhale will lift the chest. The exhale will bend the elbows to lower the chest. 2 more times. Last one together. And as we slowly rise back up, left hand will move inside the left foot. As you shuffle that left foot out a little wider, we re-bend the knee. You come in to that lizard lunge variation. Turning the left toes out towards the left-hand side, falling off onto the outside edge of the foot, and keeping the back toes tucked under, just so you can shimmy and maneuver the right knee if needed. And then again, if you want to take it further, just lift the right knee up and off the earth for a moment. Staying nice and even through the shoulders. You'll notice you may start to lean one way or the next, so just bend the elbows and push down through the hands. And as you re-straighten the arms, you might be able to find a little more centering there. Take a full breath in. Stay for that exhale. And then as you very mindfully lower the right knee back down, you choose your option. So if on the previous side you just took the hand inside the thigh, you can take that same option again. Or if you took it a little further, start by dropping right forearm down onto the mat, elbow underneath the shoulder. And then maybe reaching left arm up towards the sky. Big breath in. Exhale, left hand back over the right leg, peeling the left shoulder up towards the sky. Then maybe, as you bend the knee, you might find the foot there. So if you're a runner or someone who spends a lot of time sitting down, or any sort of sport where you're constantly bringing knees in towards the chest, the front of your hips, namely your hip flexors or your psoas muscles, start to get super duper tight, and they're really, really challenging muscles to lengthen and open. So a pose like this, if you've got that foot, your hip's really going to tell you that it's challenging. So see if you can breathe while you're here. And see if you can take your mind elsewhere to take the awareness away from the hip. So can you fall off onto the outside edge of the left foot a little more? Can you push down through the right hand a little more? Can you peel the left shoulder up just a little bit higher? Take a final breath. Stay for the exhale. And very mindfully releasing the right leg. Hands under shoulders, you lift onto those hands. Set the left foot down flat outside the left hand. Then as the back toes tuck under, we lift that back knee. Left leg stays where it is. We work to step the right foot outside the right hand. Gently sit the hips down nice and low. And come back to that malasana, I should say, where we met before. Palms press down to move the knees out and lift the chest. Nice work. Let your eyes close down. Again, leaning weight into the heels. Maybe you feel the toes get light. But if the toes lift, we try and keep the ball joint of the big toe pushing down like you had a $50 note underneath it. You didn't want it to blow away in the wind. So push down through the heels, the ball mound of the big toes. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, we'll slowly make our way up to stand. So the chest is going to lead the way. The bum stays nice and low. Slowly straighten the legs. Bring the toes so they're facing forward, feet underneath the hips. Take your arms down by the side. Big breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. Then inhale, arms reach out wide and up. Exhale, palms through center, we'll fold. Inhale, take a halfway lift, use the fingertips. This time, palms flat, right leg back first, followed by the left. We come to our second round of the forearm plank. So as you lower the forearms down, push your palms together, press away from the floor, heels back, chest forward, glutes firm. And again, we're just here for 10, 9, for 8. This is the last one. For 7, 6, for 5, 4, 3, 2, and on 1. This time right, forearm stays. Set the left hand down underneath the left elbow, and then push through the left hand to take the right arm underneath the right shoulder. Then guide your hips up and back. Take a full breath in downward facing dog. As you exhale gently, lower your knees, sit your hips back on top of your heels. Nice one. Now this is where we're going to finish off the practice, here with hips on heels. If you do have a block, I invite you to take your feet just a little bit wider and set that block underneath your hips. So now your feet are wider than the block, so you're no longer resting on your heels, you're resting on your block. Feet will go a little wider, knees together, and this is Virasana or Hero's Pose. And if you feel like your knees are starting to internally rotate, take your thumbs, lift your hips, and then move your calf muscles out. Gently lower yourself back down. You might find a little more space there. I invite you to close down your eyes. Feel grounded through top of the feet, front of the shins. Allow your breath to start to return to its natural state. That sound of ujjayi, in and out through the nose. To finish off, all we're going to do is catch our second block, put it behind our feet, just on the second height here. Take the heels of your hands, rest them on either side, so the fingers will frame the outside edges of your block here. And then we're going to draw the shoulder blades back towards each other. We open up through the chest. We do that by bending the elbows and leaning back. And then from here, push down through the tops of the feet, lift the hips, straighten the arms. Nice one. So you're opening up through the front body yet again, getting a stretch through the chest, the shoulders, the biceps, the front of the hips, the quads. The space, let your head drop. Just be here for a few breaths. Take a last inhale. Stay for that breath out. And gently bend your elbows, bend your knees, lower the hips down. Set the blocks off to the side. I'm going to gently sit onto the bottom. When we arrive, just taking the heels out in front of us with the knees bent, toes lifting up off the mat. For a moment, we're just going to windscreen wipe the knees to side, so just releasing through the hip joint there. Nice work. Once you've done a few rounds on either side, just take a cross-legged seat. We'll sit up nice and tall. And I want you to, first and foremost, always be proud of yourself for putting on the video and allowing yourself to practice. Not every practice is the same. Some are a lot more strenuous, some are more restorative, some are longer, some are shorter. Some are more beginner, some are a little more advanced. Do yourself a favor, have a look through all the videos. They're generally listed, beginner, intermediate, advanced. If you just read through the descriptions, you'll find something that works for you. And just notice, you may do a practice one day, say on a Monday, and you really, really love it. And then Tuesday, your body is screaming for something different. So just honor that. Not every day is the same, not every practice is the same. But honor your body, honor yourself, and you'll find something that works for you. Thank you so much for practicing, and I'll see you all again soon. Peace.